Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're rewinding the clock, not by a few centuries, but by millions of years. Forget dinosaurs, forget mammoths. We're going way back to the Pliocene epoch, about 3.2 million years ago, to a world that was both alien and strangely familiar. Picture the vast, sprawling savannas of East Africa. This was the stage for one of nature's most incredible dramas. And today, we're exploring a fascinating encounter, the meeting of our early human ancestor, Homo habilis, and a true giant of the bird world. And when you think of giant prehistoric birds, your mind might jump to the terrifying terror birds of South America. But Africa had its own colossal avian resident. Meet *Pachys damanensis*, often nicknamed the giant ostrich. But calling it a giant ostrich is like calling a grizzly bear a big hamster. This bird was a heavyweight champion, standing over 3 meters, or about 11 feet tall, and weighing up to a staggering 450 kilograms, that is nearly 1,000 pounds. It was 3 times heavier than a modern ostrich. Imagine a bird as heavy as a polar bear. That's the scale we're talking about. It couldn't fly, of course. With that kind of bulk, its powerful legs were built for striding across the plains, not for soaring through the skies. At the same time, another remarkable story was unfolding on these very same plains. A new character had entered the scene, Homo habilis, which translates to handyman. Standing at just over a meter tall, around 3 to 4 feet, they were small, much smaller than us. But what they lacked in size, they made up for in ingenuity. Homo habilis was one of the first members of our own genus. Homo habilis were larger than their Australopithecine predecessors. And crucially, they had the dexterity and cognitive ability to do something revolutionary: make stone tools. These simple tools, known as the Oldowan toolkit, were humanity's first foray into technology. They weren't elegant spears or arrows, but sharp flakes of rock, choppers, and hammerstones. These tools were game changers, opening up a whole new world of food resources. So let's set the scene for our incredible encounter. A small family group of Homo habilis moves cautiously across the open grassland, ever watchful. The world is full of dangers. Saber-toothed cats, giant hyenas, and other formidable predators are a constant threat. The Homo habilis group isn't here to hunt big game. They are primarily scavengers and gatherers. Their keen eyes scan the horizon, not for prey to chase down, but for signs of a recent kill. A carcass left behind by a more powerful hunter. Their diet is a mix of plants, fruits, insects, and whatever protein they can safely acquire. Suddenly the ground trembles slightly. A massive shape appears on the horizon. It's a flock of Pachys the giant ostriches. They move with a surprising grace for their size, their long necks held high, scanning the environment just as the hominids are. For Homo habilis, these birds are a walking paradox. On one hand, a full-grown adult is an impossible target. It's far too large, too powerful, and can deliver a kick that could instantly kill. A direct confrontation would be suicide. The hominins would have watched these giants with a mixture of awe and extreme caution, giving them a very wide berth. But where there is great danger, there is also great opportunity. Homo habilis, the handyman, is a master of opportunism. While a live adult giant ostrich is off limits, what about its eggs? Paleontologists have found giant ostrich eggshell fragments at archaeological sites alongside hominin tools. This is our smoking gun. Imagine the prize an egg from *Pachys would have been. Based on its body size, a single egg could have been enormous, perhaps holding the volume of 24 chicken eggs. It would have been a massive, protein-rich and calorie-dense meal, capable of feeding an entire family group for a day. So how would they get one? It wouldn't be easy. The parent birds would have been fiercely protective of their nests. A direct raid on a nest guarded by a 1,000-pound bird is a non-starter. But Homo habilis was smart. They likely used stealth and observation. Perhaps they waited for the parents to be distracted, foraging a short distance away. Maybe they created a diversion, 1 or 2 individuals making noise to draw the bird's attention, while another darted in to snatch an egg. Or, even more likely, they capitalized on misfortune. They might have found a nest that had been abandoned, or raided by another predator and scavenged the remaining eggs. Once they secured the prize, how did they open it? These eggshells were thick and tough, much more so than a modern ostrich egg. This is where their stone tools became indispensable. A simple hammerstone or a sharp-edged flake could be used to carefully crack open the shell without shattering the precious contents. This actosing, a tool to process a found food source, is quintessentially Homo habilis. It's not just about eating, it's about problem-solving, planning, and using technology to survive and thrive. The giant ostrich egg wasn't just a meal, it was an intelligence test, and Homo habilis passed with flying colors. This relationship wasn't one-sided, of course. From the giant ostrich's perspective, these small, upright apes were a nuisance. They weren't a direct predator like a big cat, but they were a persistent threat to their offspring. The birds would have had to be constantly vigilant, developing strategies to protect their nests, not just from four-legged hunters, but from these new, clever, two-legged two-losers. This dynamic, this ancient dance of avoidance and opportunity, it's played out for hundreds of thousands of years across the African savanna. It was a crucial part of the ecosystem that shaped both species. The world of 3.2 million years ago was a tough place, and survival was a daily struggle. But in the shadow of giant birds, our ancestors found a way. They used their minds, their hands, and their cooperative spirit to carve out a niche for themselves. The encounter between the giant ostrich and Homo habilis is a perfect snapshot of this period. It shows us that our journey wasn't defined by brute strength, but by ingenuity and adaptability. It was the ability to see a giant, dangerous bird not just as a threat, but as a potential source of life-giving food that set our ancestors on the path that would eventually lead to us. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. It's humbling to think about the challenges our ancestors faced and the incredible intelligence they displayed. What do you think is the most fascinating part of this ancient relationship? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into our prehistoric past, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.